Hello everyone. In this video we'll see about the regulation of glycolysis. Glycolysis is a carbohydrate metabolism first pathway which takes place in the cytoplasm of each and every cells, and the aim of this glycolysis pathway is the production of ATP molecule. And in this, from the one molecule of glucose, total 2 molecules of pyruvate, 2 molecules of ATP and 2 molecules of NADH is produced. So we'll see how this glycolytic pathway 10-step pathway is regulated. This glycolysis is a 10 steps process, and in these 10 steps the 3 steps are irreversible steps and remaining steps are the reversible steps. So whatever the irreversible steps, that are the rate limiting steps and regulatory steps. So we'll see one by one. There are 3 steps. First is the very first step of glycolysis, then the third step of glycolysis, and the very last step of glycolysis. The first step of glycolysis is conversion of glucose to glucose 6 phosphate. This is first irreversible step catalyzed by the hexokinase or glucokinase. So this is the first regulatory enzyme of the glycolysis. Second regulatory enzyme is PFK, phosphofructokinase. This is the third step enzyme. In the third step, it catalyzes the conversion of fructose 6 phosphate to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. This is also irreversible step, and in the first and the third step the 1,1 molecule of ATP is utilized. Then the third enzyme which catalyzes the last step of this pathway is pyruvate kinase, and this enzyme catalyzes conversion of phosphoenol pyruvate to the 2 molecules of pyruvate, and during these steps the 2 molecules of ATP is produced. So these are the 3 irreversible steps and 3 regulatory enzymes of the glycolysis. Okay, we'll see first enzyme, hexokinase. This enzyme is regulated by the feedback inhibition process. Feedback inhibition means what? Whatever the product of that pathway, that product will go and bind to the first enzyme and inhibit that first step of this pathway. So what is the function of hexokinase? Conversion of glucose to glucose 6 phosphate. So what is the product here? Glucose 6 phosphate. So glucose 6 phosphate goes and binds to the hexokinase and inhibit the function of the hexokinase. Okay, this is the first regulatory enzyme which is inhibited by what thing? Glucose 6 phosphate. Then second enzyme which catalyzes the third step, that is the fructose 6 phosphate to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. The enzyme is phosphofructokinase. This is the very important regulatory enzyme in case of the glycolysis. This phosphofructokinase, it is an allosteric enzyme. Okay, and there are some allosteric activators and allosteric inhibitor of this enzyme. Which are the allosteric activator of this enzyme? Okay, activator of this enzyme are 2-fructose 2,6 bisphosphate, ADP, AMP and PI. These 4 are the allosteric activator. Okay, and which are the allosteric inhibitor of this enzyme? ATP, citrate and the low pH thing. Low pH means high concentration of the hydrogen ion. So remember this thing, what are the allosteric activator of PFK and what are the allosteric inhibitor? Who is the activator? Fructose 2,6 bisphosphate, ADP, AMP and PI, and inhibitor is what? ATP, citrate and the low pH. These are the inhibitor of the fructose phosphofructokinase. Now, what is this thing fructose 2,6 bisphosphate? What is the function of this PFK? Conversion of fructose 6 phosphate to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. But where this term fructose 2,6 bisphosphate comes in this, we'll see about this. So we'll see what is this fructose 2,6 bisphosphate, which act as an activator of this enzyme, PFK enzyme. So PFK1 is a glycolytic enzyme. Means whatever we are saying about phosphofructokinase, it is a phosphofructokinase 1. Okay, it is a glycolytic enzyme, and there is another enzyme which is present in the cytoplasm, that is the phosphofructokinase 2 enzyme. Okay, now this what is the function of PFK1? Simple, it is glycolytic, means conversion of fructose to fructose 6 phosphate to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. But what is the non-glycolytic enzyme? PFK2. Its function is conversion of fructose 6 phosphate to fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. Okay, and this act as a activator of this enzyme. It is a most important regulatory factor in the liver. Yes. Okay. This what I told you, that fructose phosphofructokinase 2, this is the one active site of the polypeptide chain. Means what? There is a one bifunctional enzyme present in the cytoplasm of the liver. Bifunctional means what? That polypeptide or that enzyme has the two active sites. Okay, which are the two active sites of that enzyme? At the one active sites, it has the PFK2 activity, and at the another active site, it has what? It has the fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase activity. Bisphosphatase means what? Degradation of fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. Okay, means at it has a two bifunctional enzyme has a two active site. At the one active site, there is a PFK2 for what? Formation of fructose 2,6 bisphosphate, and at the second active site, what? Fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase enzyme, which is for the degradation of this fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. So it is a bifunctional enzyme, and the function of this bifunctional enzyme is controlled by the cyclic AMP. Okay, how? We'll see this. What is the function of cyclic AMP regarding to that bifunctional enzyme? This cyclic AMP, what is do? It done the dephosphorylation of that bifunctional enzyme. Okay, which results in the inactivation of PFK2. Means what is the function of PFK2? Synthesis of fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. And the same time, the another active site of that bifunctional enzyme will be activated, and it will degrade the fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. Okay, what does this cyclic AMP do? It dephosphorylate the bifunctional enzyme, so that what happened? After dephosphorylation, what happened? PFK2 active site will be inhibited, and the another site is fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase active site is activated. Means what? There is a degradation of this fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase occurs. Okay, if there is a degradation of fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase is done, then it is not available, and if it is not available, it cannot activate the PFK1, phosphofructokinase 1. So if it is not activated by PF, it is not activate the PFK1, then PFK1 could not convert the fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. In this way, from outside of the glycolytic enzymes, it control the glycolysis at the stage of phosphofructokinase or at the third steps. So it is important thing what is bifunctional enzyme and what is fructose 2,6-bisphosphate. Okay, yes. The next enzyme, the third enzyme of the glycolysis, third and last regulatory enzyme, pyruvate kinase. It catalyzes the conversion of phosphoenol pyruvate to the pyruvate. During this process, the two molecules of the ATP is produced. Okay. What are the activator of this PK enzyme, pyruvate kinase enzyme? Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is an activator, and inhibitor is what? ATP, by just feedback mechanism. Okay, feedback inhibition mechanism. What is its product? ATP and pyruvate. So one of its product, that is ATP, it will inhibit this enzyme, and who is the activator? Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Okay, the main important part of this enzyme is that if this enzyme is dephosphorylated, okay, if this enzyme is dephosphorylated, then it is active. Okay, and if that enzyme is phosphorylated, then it is inactive. Yes, so pyruvate kinase enzyme, we require that all glycolytic enzyme must be in an active state to do their functions. Okay, so when this pyruvate kinase is active, when it is dephosphorylated state. So the phosphorylation, okay, so the deactivation of this pyruvate kinase is done by the cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase. What the cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase do? It transfer the phosphate group to the pyruvate kinase enzyme, so that phosphorylated pyruvate kinase is a inactive form, so it cannot participate in the glycolysis. Yes, so who is the inhibitor? That is the cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase is also inhibitor of this pyruvate kinase. Another thing, the hormone glucagon, it inhibit the glycolysis by this mechanism. In the hepatic or in the liver, this mechanism is inhibited. This hormone, glucagon hormone, it inhibit the pyruvate kinase by using this mechanism, by using the protein kinase enzyme. Yes, what is the total yield of the glycolysis? That is, in the first, I told you that there are two phases, preparatory phase and the payoff phase. In the preparatory phase, 2 molecules of ATP are utilized, and in the payoff phase 4 molecule of ATP is produced. So what is the net or total ATP? Total ATP is 2 molecule of ATP is we get, or the net yield of this glycolysis is 2 molecules of ATP. So we'll see in the what happened during the aerobic and anaerobic condition. Aerobic means whenever the oxygen is available. So if the oxygen is available, that the 2 molecules of NADH which is produced in this glycolysis cycle, it undergoes the electron transport chain, and how many molecules of NADH? 2 molecules of NADH. 1 molecule of NADH codes for the 3 ATP or 2.5 ATP molecules. So by the calculation, total ATP by using this is 8 ATP molecule is produced during the aerobic condition. Yes, then conversion of pyruvate to the lactate. This is done in case of anaerobic when oxygen is unavailable. Whatever the pyruvate produced in the glycolysis pathway, 2 molecules of pyruvate, it get reduced to the lactate molecule by the enzyme LDH, lactate dehydrogenase enzyme. It has a 5 isoenzymes. Okay, means LDH enzyme has a 5 its isoforms. The cardiac isoenzyme means it has a 5 isoforms which are present in the different organs of our human body. So its one isoform is present in our heart also. Okay, so whatever our cardiac LDH, it will increase in the myocardial infarct, means when there is a angina pectoris, means when there is a chest pain is occurs. Chest pain we feel when there is a lack of oxygen, and what happened during lack of oxygen, LDH concentration is increases and it rapidly convert pyruvate to the lactate. Yes, this is the structure and the conversion is shown in this slide. Then what is the significance of this lactate production? Yes, whatever the NADH we get in the glycolysis step, the formation of lactate during the, we can see here, yes, during the formation of lactate molecule, NAD molecule is produced. Okay, so this NAD molecule will again go and help for the formation of NADH during the glycolysis. Okay, how, we'll see. And what happened, because of this, the glycolysis will be proceed even if there is a no oxygen. Yes, here we can see during the glycolysis, in the glycolysis, conversion of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to the 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate done by the enzyme glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Dehydrogenase means removal of hydrogens. So NAD must be the hydrogen acceptor and it converts to the NADH. Now the glycolytic pathway go by its own way and it's produce the pyruvate. Okay, and further, in case of aerobic condition, pyruvate is very fastly converted to acetyl CoA. But when there is a lack of oxygen, then this pyruvate cannot convert to the acetyl CoA. So in the lack of oxygen condition, the LDH enzyme concentration will increases and the pyruvate is converted to the lactate molecule, or okay, by the LDH enzyme. And during this process, whatever the NADH molecule produced in the glycolysis, it is utilized and converted to the NAD plus molecule. And where this NAD plus molecule is needed, this NAD plus molecule again go back in a glycolytic cycle where it is needed. Okay, yes, means there is a reconversion of NADH to NAD plus during the anaerobic condition is done. This glycolysis is very important in the skeletal muscle during the severe exercise when the oxygen is very limited. Means during the exercise, to your muscles the oxygen concentration is decreased. Okay, so in this case the glycolysis is necessary. So in RBC and brain cells, okay, in RBC cells and brain cells there is a mitochondria is absent, so that cells are totally depend upon the glycolysis for the production of energy and the lactate production. Yes, then if there is a more concentration of lactate is produced in our body, or if LDH is more activated and more amount of the lactic acid is produced, then it results into the disease, it is known as lactic acidosis. Okay, what happened in this lactic acidosis? The elevation of lactic acid in the circulation, blood circulation is occurs due to the increased production and the decreased utilization. So that, and it is associated or it is observed when we go for the severe exercise, or if we go through some shocks or some respiratory disease, cancer or different types of the diseases. This condition we'll see in different kind of the diseases. And the severe forms of lactic acidosis, it is mostly observed in the collapse of circulatory system, means in the myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction means what? Little bit nearly same to the heart attack. Okay, means during the heart attack this lactic acidosis condition is observed. During the pulmonary embolism and uncontrolled hemorrhage and the severe shock. Okay, in this case the lactic acidosis is observed, and this is due to the inadequate supply of oxygen, means low concentration of oxygen to the tissue with the drastic reduction in the ATP synthesis, and it also very dangerous, it leads to the death also. So oxygen dipped means what? How much amount of excess oxygen is required to cover from this lactic acidosis. This term is known as the oxygen dipped. So measurement of the plasma lactic acid concentration in our body, it is useful to know the oxygen dipped and monitor the patient recovery. Okay, if the patient has gone through the heart attack, then their plasma lactic acid level is checked, and through that we can get idea how much oxygen required by that patient. Then there are two effects which are related to this glycolysis. First is the Pasteur effect. In this Pasteur effect, what happened? Okay, inhibition of glycolysis by oxygen or by aerobic condition. This thing is known as the Pasteur effect. This is due to the inhibition of enzyme phosphofructokinase. Okay, glycolytic intermediate from the fructose 1,6-bisphosphate onward, it decreases, while the earlier intermediate will accumulate. Means from this step fructose 1,6-bisphosphate onwards means payoff phase. Okay, payoff phase concentration decreases, and the intermediate preparatory phase material or the things are accumulate in our body during the Pasteur effect. And the last effect is the Crabtree effect. Crabtree effect, it is totally opposite to that of the Pasteur effect. In this case, the inhibition of oxygen consumption by the addition of glucose to the tissue which having the high aerobic glycolysis is known as the Crabtree effect. And this is due to the increased competition of glycolysis for the inorganic phosphate and NAD+, which limits their availability for the phosphorylation and the oxidation. So yes, this is all about the regulation of the glycolysis. Three main enzymes: hexokinase, phosphofructokinase, and the pyruvate kinase. Yes, thank you.